On some days, people just feel different. Tempers are shorter, arguments ignite faster, small, everyday frustrations suddenly feel unbearable. Nothing dramatic has happened. There was no bad news, no personal crisis. And yet, something just feels wrong, almost out of place. What if that feeling isn't imaginary? What if the very air around you, the weather itself, is quietly influencing human behavior on a massive scale? Today, we explore a disturbing and often overlooked question. Can the weather actually make us more violent? Let's start with something we all experience: heat. I'm not talking about extreme disaster-level heat waves, just those warmer than usual days. For decades, researchers have noticed a persistent and troubling pattern. As temperatures rise, so does violent crime. This isn't a coincidence. It's a statistically proven correlation. Researchers from the University of California conducted a massive analysis, looking at millions of crime records from multiple countries around the globe. Their conclusion was consistent and chilling. For every 1 degree Celsius increase in temperature, violent crime rises by a staggering 2 to 4%. This isn't just one type of crime. It includes assaults, domestic violence, and street violence. To be clear, heat doesn't create a violent person. Instead, it acts as a catalyst, dangerously lowering the threshold for aggression. The effect is deeply biological, rooted in how our bodies react to thermal stress. When we get hot, our bodies work overtime to cool down. Our heart rate increases. Our sleep quality plummets. Dehydration becomes a constant risk. But most importantly, and this is the critical part, heat reduces activity in the prefrontal cortex. This is the sophisticated, highly evolved part of our brain responsible for executive functions like decision-making, planning, and impulse control. In simple terms, when you're hot, you still know right from wrong. You just care a little less. Your patience wears thin much faster. Irritation builds quietly in the background, and your reactions become far more impulsive, more primal. This isn't just a theory. It's a pattern that repeats itself every single year, like clockwork. Crime data from the Federal Bureau of Investigation shows the exact same result year after year. Violent crimes consistently peak during the summer months. Homicides increase. Assaults increase. Tragically, domestic violence incidents also see a sharp rise. Winter, on the other hand, tells a completely different story. While property crimes like burglary might go up, direct face-to-face human confrontation drops significantly. This isn't a local phenomenon, it's global. Across countries, across vastly different cultures, and spanning decades of data, the pattern remains undeniably the same. Violence is, in a very real sense, seasonal. But temperature isn't the only factor at play. Rapid and dramatic weather changes also have a profound impact on our emotional state. Think about the air just before a big storm rolls in. The barometric pressure drops. Medical studies have directly linked these sudden pressure changes to a host of physical and psychological symptoms: headaches, increased anxiety, irritability, and general emotional instability. Hospitals have even reported significant increases in psychiatric admissions and emergency room visits. During these periods of abrupt weather shifts, it's as if our bodies can sense the environmental change long before our conscious minds fully understand it. We feel an unexplained sense of unease, a tension without a clear source. So that tension looks for a target, and all too often that target is another person. Now, let's zoom out from daily weather to long-term climate. A major meta-analysis, examining over 60 different studies and incorporating thousands of years of historical data, found an unmistakable link. Climate stress dramatically increases human conflict. And we're not just talking about individual crimes anymore. We're talking about wars, riots, and widespread social unrest. Prolonged heat and drought strain resources like water and food. That resource scarcity puts immense pressure on social and political systems. And those strained systems eventually put unbearable pressure on people. Violence doesn't just appear out of nowhere. It accumulates, quietly, statistically, and most frighteningly, predictably. So, to return to our original question, can the weather influence violent behavior? The answer isn't simple. It doesn't act like a command or a switch that gets flipped. It's more like a slow, steady pressure being applied to a pane of glass. It's invisible, it's gradual. Until one day, with just a little extra stress, it cracks. The unsettling truth is this: We were never separate from our environment. We were shaped by it. We were forged by its cycles and its pressures. And we still are. The weather doesn't fundamentally change who we are. It simply reveals just how fragile our restraint, our civilization, our control truly is.